So in this video, we're going to see a Donald Trump loyalist try and come on the TV and try and link Donald Trump's tariffs on the UK to free speech. Let's watch the video in full and then I'll give you my thoughts towards the end.
Let's go live to the States. Diana Gurchtgott-Roth, Trump loyalist from term one, meeting Rachel Reeves this evening, I think. Diana, welcome to Newsnight.
Wonderful to be with you.
What do you guys think of our woman, Rachel Reeves?
Well, I think that it would be very good if she could strike a trade deal. For the past 5 or 10 years, people have been talking about a trade deal, a UK-US trade deal. Here, Rachel Reeves has the opportunity to do it because President Trump is such a big fan of the UK. And it would be wonderful to strike while the iron is hot and get something done. But of course, Britain has to be ready to make some concessions. Vice President Vance said that he really wanted free speech and those kinds of other extraneous things that don't just come down to 2.4% on cars or 25% on cars. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to talk about.
No, there is. And also, we're quite proud of our free speech here, and inevitably Rachel Reeves can't stand up and say, oh, thank goodness for the Vice President. The scales have lifted from my eyes. We need more free speech. So can you tell me, broadly speaking, is the chatter in Washington the UK and the US are going to get a deal?
There are about 70 countries here.
I don't want to
trying
talk
get
about
a
them,
deal.
Diana. Tell me about mine. Is the UK going to get one? Kenneth here says, if you can't do a deal with the UK, you're not going to do a deal with anyone. We are the United Kingdom. We have a lot in common. Are we going to get the deal, Diana?
I think it depends on the conditions that Rachel Reeves is willing to negotiate. One of them is free speech, because there was an article today about a Mr. Camus who's coming from France, who was going to go to France to give a speech, and he has been not permitted to come and talk. So it's things like that, little things like that, that are also important to President Trump and Vice President Vance. I've met with the Danish today, the Malaysians yesterday, the Swiss yesterday also. Everybody wants a deal. And it's a matter not just of looking at tariffs and goods, it's a matter of the things that surround it. And I think there's such a good chance for President Trump and Rachel Reeves to make a deal, and I really hope that it happens.
Yes, Phil, thank you very much. I mean, that's the bit I really wanted, rather than trying to link free speech to the deal, because I don't think any of us can see how that goes in a commercial deal talking about tariffs. I don't see there's any language.
It very much does.
Well, I don't see
That's
how,
why
can you give me a
10%
sentence? Can you give me a sentence which links the country of the Magna Carta to a deal on chlorinated chicken?
All you have to do is look at the headlines in the States. One of the main op-eds in the Wall Street Journal today was about a French philosopher who is not being allowed to come to Britain to give a speech. And that's the kind of thing that they're concerned about. They're very concerned about these outside things. They've made that very clear.
OK, and finally, before we lose you, can you tell me, in the meeting tonight, are you excited to meet her? Where will it be, your meeting with her this evening?
There's a party at the British Embassy for her, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing her. Yes, of course, I'm looking forward to meeting the Chancellor.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us with the insight and raising things which I know are important to the administration.
Honestly, when it comes to this administration and a lot of the Donald Trump loyalists and the lackeys and the bootlickers, just like that lady there, you just see how incompetent these guys are. You really just see how incompetent that these guys are. Now, this is what's crazy. The fact that they're trying to link tariffs on the UK to free speech, especially this administration. The fact that this administration are trying to do that speaks volumes in of itself, especially to me. And the reason as to why is because we have seen this administration actively go after and limit and impose on people's rights to free speech. We've seen that all over the United States, and it hasn't even been half of a year with this administration being in power. Now, what I actually went ahead and done, as you guys know I do on this channel, I like to do my research and I like to give you guys solid facts on what it is that I'm talking about. Now, I want to just go over a few different times and a few different examples of when this current administration has gone ahead and they have tried to limit the free speech of other individuals. Okay, now remember what she said. JD Vance spoke about being troubled about the UK and free speech, but the reality is they can't speak about that because they have a problem with free speech as well. First and foremost, restricting press access and targeting journalists. Now, look, the Trump administration, they've expelled established news organizations from the Pentagon and barred the Associated Press journalists from the White House and Air Force One, especially when it is that they refuse to comply with the administration's demands, such as using the government's preferred terminology for geographic locations. So you guys will know, instead of calling it the Gulf of Mexico, they now want it to be called the Gulf of America. And these actions have been criticized by a lot of the United people within the United States and people around the world because it undermines the freedom of press and it violates the First Amendment that every single American should be able to take advantage of. Okay. Now, we've also seen that the administration, they've also threatened and investigated broadcasters such as ABC, CBS, NBS for their coverage of the 2024 election. And we've seen that Donald Trump has pressured journalists to be able to do what it is that he wants simply because of the fact that he wants to be all in control. Okay, we've seen this administration apply pressure to universities and academic speech as well. We saw that Donald Trump and this administration, they cut off federal funding from universities such as Columbia University, and that was in response to campus protests and failures to address anti-Semitism. Now, look, the reality is all these students were doing is they were exercising their First Amendment rights to be able to go out there and to be able to protest. That's all it was that they were doing. And as a result of them doing that, this is what it is that this administration has done. We've seen them censor the scientific and government communication as well. These are departments and agencies such as the CDC and the HHS, and literally just put them in a position where they want them to use certain terminology and they want them to use certain research papers and you use certain terms when it comes to the topics that this administration approve of or disapprove of. Okay, and we've also seen retaliation against political opponents and critics. So anybody who goes against this administration and has spoke against Donald Trump or speaks out against Donald Trump, we've seen this administration go after these individuals multiple times. Now, and last but not least, we've seen environmental and non-profit speech suppression as well. Like this administration cannot be speaking to anybody when it comes to free speech because right now we have never seen a government and an administration go as hard against free speech as this administration. Guys, as usual, I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this video. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel and you're not part of the community. Love to have you. Also, hit the thumbs up button purely for the YouTube algorithm and turn on the bell notification that you get updated every single time we upload a brand new video. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.